Hi, today I'm going to do one of my everyday makeup looks. This has been requested a lot. So to start with, I'm going to use the oil-free sunblock from Murad, and I'm going to use this instead of a moisturiser and instead of any kind of a primer, simply because I've got oily skin anyway, and this I find to be nice and light, but it's also quite moisturising, and it certainly contains everything that a good moisturiser would rather. Next, I'm going to use foundation. I don't tend to use foundation all over my face every day. What I normally do is just try and even out the darker patches, so I'm dark around the mouth, dark around the nose, a little bit on the forehead. Tend to leave the cheeks quite bare. I use lots of different foundations when I'm testing different ones out. I'm just testing this one at the moment, which is the Rimmel Stay Matte. And this is the type of thing that I would use during the day. More of an oil-free matte one. I'll either apply it with fingers, or I'll use foundation brush. I'm just going to use fingers for this tutorial because I'm going to try and use very few brushes, because actually I don't really use that many on myself during the week. So I've mainly just applied it down the centre of my face, which is mainly where I need foundation, just to even me out. And then I'll normally go back and just put a touch more on my chin area, just because this is where it's the most uneven skin. And if it's the right shade, it'll blend into everything else. Now, before I do anything else, I'll put some kind of a cheek product on. And my cheeks still have the moisturiser on, still have the oil-free sunblock on. I'm going to use this Rose de Rose, which is by Terry. And I really like this liquid, sort of like a liquid blush. They do it in two colours. This colour is really pretty. It's very rosy. They also do it in a darker shade and a more sort of bronzy shade as well. It's a little pump action. I'm just going to put a little bit onto the back of my hand, and this has a lot of luminosity in, so it's sort of like a cross between a highlighter and a blusher. They actually recommend that you use it all over your face. I wouldn't recommend that at all. I think it's just too much. It just gives a really nice kind of sheer bit of colour to the face, but I wouldn't like to be that colour all over. Just makes you look extremely healthy, and if you're not feeling rested, you certainly will look it. I find when I use this product, friends say to me, "Oh, your skin looks nice." So that's why I like using it. Okay, next I'll use some concealer. I'll use some light reflection under my eyes, just where I need it. And because this is an everyday look, it's very much geared towards how the makeup's going to be viewed in daylight. So I want it to be very real looking, and sort of to have that almost like there's no makeup on, but you just look very healthy. Now, if I've got any major spots, I'll use regular concealer, opaque concealer. I think this seems to be the only one at the moment. I might get away with just using a light reflection on it. It's not too bad. Okay, the next thing I'll do is I'll set the makeup. I tend to use powders that are either like the MAC Skin Finish powder, so they have the mineral powder, they have a little bit of coverage in them as well. Another one which is nice is the Estee Lauder, the double wear. It's actually powder foundation, but rather than put it on with a sponge so that you get a lot of coverage, I'm just going to put it on with a Suku cheek brush. Again, I don't powder all over during the day. I just powder around my mouth mainly, and around the centre of my forehead. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is something really simple on my eyes, and this is an eye tint by Becca. This one is called Baroque, and it is not that different from the skin colour on my eyes already. It has a tiny bit of shimmer in, but it's not overtly shimmery, and it just gives a really nice bit of shading. And it also protects the eyelid as well. It's waterproof and it's not going to crease, because I can't be really bothered with powder eyeshadows during the day. They just take too much effort to put on in the morning. And this takes 2 seconds. That's it. and it just gives a nice shade. They have lots of different colours as well, so you can find one that's your skin colour or suits you. Then I will curl my eyelashes. Do this every single day. There's never a day gone by where I haven't curled my eyelashes. I just think it really wakes my face up. It gives my eyes a much better appearance. Even if I don't do any makeup at all, I'll always curl my eyelashes. It just really makes a huge difference. Mascara as well, I always use mascara. This is the new number 7 one. It comes out in September, and it's called Exceptional Definition. Okay, so that's my mascara on, top and bottom. And for me, it's essential every day. Curl the eyelashes, put plenty of mascara on, comb them through. I just feel like I'm awake and I'm just ready for the world. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is first I'm going to groom my brows a little bit. I don't do tons during the week. This is a little disposable brush from the Makeup Pro store. I'm going to use the smokey felt tip, and this is their little waterproof felt tip brow, and I'm just going to put a few strokes in. That's all I do during the day. That's it. That just gives me a touch more there, and then there's one gap there that I normally fill in as well. In daylight, if you've got too much stuff in your eyebrows, I think when people sort of meet you, or at least when I meet people that are overly made up in the brow department, I find myself just staring at them the whole time because they sort of jump out of the face. So whatever you do, I recommend during the day that in the brows it's pretty soft. Okay, and then I always do a little bit of something like a highlighter or something, and this is a eye lucent powder by smokey. And I just add a little bit into the corners just because I think it really opens up my eyes. It just sort of brings them to life, really. And the other thing you can do with this, with your fingers, you can just pat a little bit onto the cream that I've already put on there. Okay, and moving on, I'm going to do my lips. I did put a little bit of lip balm on earlier on, and during the day all I do is I put a tiny bit of lipstick on. This is Estee Lauder Rose Dust. This is from their Blue Dahlia collection. Comes out in, it's their autumn collection. I've been wearing this every day since I got it. It's just a really nice everyday lipstick. I put a tiny bit on, hardly any at all, just to give a little bit of slip onto the lips. These are very much the sorts of colours I'd wear on my lips during the day. I wear either something a bit peachy or a bit tawny, or something quite pinky that's just nothing. It sort of blends in with my natural lip colour. And then I'm just going to go all over the top of it with a pencil and give myself a little bit more of a bottom lip. So I'll go all over with that and just sort of pat it in. And then throughout the day, I'll just put a fraction more of the lip colour on. So that's it. That's my personal everyday makeup look. I don't actually like a lot of makeup during the day. I think, you know, daylight's quite harsh, and certainly if you put on too much foundation, powder, everything, you know, it might look great in artificial light, in your sort of bathroom light, whatever, but once the light comes up and people are standing close to you, I think you can really kind of see, and it takes away from your personality. And I'm much happier with the kind of day look that just sort of brings out your best points, disguises quite subtly your not so good points, and just gives you a kind of fresh, healthy look. And that's it. And also it's nice and quick because you don't want to spend too much time during the day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and thank you for watching.